Welcome into T4G Sports. Today we're going to give you guys our cheat sheet on 3-star gem linebackers and how to find these guys. You're going to want to use this list to move on from guys that are hitting too many lows or they're beneath the lows. That's how you want to use these numbers. You will figure out who is good by using this cheat sheet. Before we jump into this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, click the notification bell. Don't just play the game, own the game. Let's light it up. All right, so we're going to start with pass coverage guys first. We're going to put up the average, the low, and the high. Okay, so you can see, I'm going to just show you little bits of examples here. I passed on this guy. You can see that the speed, if you're getting under an 84, walk away. The awareness, it's not bad, it's not terrible. What they're bad at is man coverage, surprisingly enough. The average is a 58, which is just not great. That's not a great number there. Definitely not a great number there. So passing on this guy here, this guy was hitting some numbers. You didn't see what his speed is, and the gold bar was just a massive range. Looking at him, you can kind of see, well, you'll see why when you break down those numbers. Like his man coverage wasn't too bad. Speed, not really good. If his speed was higher, this guy would be considered a gem. There's just certain things here that I'm not interested in. I don't like to see, and that's why you would pass on this guy. This guy's acceleration is a 90, which is a high. Play recognition is a 60, which is a low. So he's kind of all up and down. That gold bar for that speed is quite concerning. It is quite concerning. His agility is a 75, 71 for his COD, which is just, this guy is so far, he's decent. I wouldn't say he's really that amazing. This guy tackling wise is 74. His speed, I like that gold bar a little bit better. Zone coverage is 74. I like that. It's better than the average. Pursuit is a 77. That's an average. Play recognition is a 65. That's better than the average. 62 man coverage. That's better than the average. That's a high. COD is a 78. That's a high as well. Agility is a 78, which is higher than the average. If he's hitting some of those other numbers, I like that gold bar and that speed. I'm not too worried about the awareness. That just needs to be a 64 to a 75, which is pretty insane with a 68, basically a 69 average. Acceleration, that's looking pretty good on that regard too. I think this guy has a good ability to be a gem. He was what I would invest in over the other guys, without a doubt. So looking at this guy here, that agility is an 81. That's pretty good. That's actually high. I like what I'm seeing there. Man coverage is 62. His speed's not looking too terrible. Acceleration's an 87. 88's the average. Zone coverage is 69. Awareness is 68. That's an average. It's right around the average. This guy's if he's a gem, he's, not like crazy good, but yeah, he ends up being just an average guy. But this is how you can just start to get away from some of these guys. Some like this guy would not have went fully in after seeing some of the numbers. So in reality, I would only have gone in fully on 2 guys. Okay, the rest of these guys, and that saves you a lot of points when you don't have to go in fully. I'm showing you guys this, so don't just do exactly what I do and waste points just to prove a point. Go off the list. Okay, so let's bring up power rushers here. We'll give you the average, the low, and the high, and let's see if I can find some pretty good talent with this. Where are they worst at? Zone coverage. Zone coverage is a 41 at. Horrible zone coverage. Not good at all. Not even the slightest. I mean, it is absolutely atrocious. 41 is an average for gems at zone coverage. Believe it or not. Like, that is terrible. 75 agility. That's not too bad. Strength is one of those things you definitely want to look at. Speed's going to help you quite a bit. Power moves, they're not quite as amazing. This guy's got an 81 power move. Right off the bat, his tackles a 72. Not too shabby there. 61 awareness, not the greatest ever. Pursuit is an 80, which I'd say is pretty good. That's above the average, obviously. Acceleration, not the greatest there. Not the greatest. His speed can be concerning because if that's below an 80, now this guy's worth looking into, no doubt. But yeah, there you go. He ended up flopping, so I wasted points on him. I hate when this thing glitches. Let's see here. 46 zone coverage. Good sir. Power moves is an 80. Whoa, strength is a 77. I like that. Play recognition 65. Looking good. Agility is a 74. That's a low. But his speed, I don't know what his speed is. I got to see this guy. They didn't give it to him. If he was a 4-star, he'd be a gem. But the likelihood is he's got a normal dev. Tackles a 76. Ooh, these guys are the power rushers are a little bit tougher. I mean, the acceleration, you want that average to be around 86. So that is definitely something big to be looking at there. And they're not giving it. Speed's an 80 for this guy, which is a low. Zone coverage is a 42. That's not the worst. Agility, 74. Power moves is 78, which is not too bad. I don't know. This guy's, yeah, he hits it. That acceleration, 81. This is what I would call this guy is I would say, like he just squeaks by, right? He is just a squeaker. I wouldn't say any more, any less. Like he's hit some highs, but then he's right on that verge. He's not bad. I like him. I definitely like him, but you got an 80 speed here for this guy. Tackles a 74, not too shabby. These guys are a little bit tougher than the pass coverage guys, because the pass coverage guys, like there's only so many things you're looking for, and you're like, oh, that's a big indicator. I got to leave. This guy's acceleration's an 85. I like seeing that. Pursuit's an 80, which is pretty solid, better than the average. 69 awareness, which I like to see. Power moves is an 81. This guy, he's sniffing Jemski. Yeah. That guy is a beast. So I wasn't able to skip on some of those guys as well. But if you do come across some of these power rush guys, like this guy is just really good. If his speed was higher too, my lord, if he was an 84, whew, this guy would be an absolute monster. But I like what I saw from these guys. These guys are worthwhile taking a little bit more time on the power rushers. And you're going to probably waste more points, because pass coverage guys, like you start to see some of their speed, some of the things you're looking at, like this guy's really good. Look at that speed. But you start to see things and you could pick it up quicker if they're not hitting those numbers. These guys, like the power moves, you would think that they're in the 85 range or something like that, but they're just not. I mean, a 78 is considered pretty powerful. So we're going to finish it off with run stoppers here, and obviously try to find the ranges that are the closest, because then you're like, okay, I cannot mess around with this. Like they should be in this section here. But if if you look at the average, the low and the high, which we're going to pop up, you can see like the awareness 59 to 68. Like that's a massive awareness difference. And use these numbers if you have a guy who's one lower than the low, but then he's one higher than the high. I keep stressing this. Pay attention to that, because it could mean that he's a gem, right? You got to learn how to read the data. The data is not always going to be pinpoint perfect, but it's going to give you exactly what you need to know to be perfect in your scouting. It's literally going to give you what you need to know if you learn how to read it. There's going to be occasional times where you come across a guy and he's like, whoa, this is a unicorn style of guy. That happens. That's just welcome to football. Like that's just the way it works. And in our data will even tell you that without even telling you that, if you know how to read it. So our data is correct more times than not by far. Okay, but 3 stars, also remember that it is tougher for them, because the normal guys who are just normal 3 stars get crapped on when it comes to their development. So play recognition, this guy's a 73. I like what I see. Use the gold bars as well. Speed is an 81. Not too bad. Zone coverage, 52. I've seen worse. Awareness, 67. Pretty good. Hit power, 79. Pretty good. Tackle is an 80, which I really like to see. The high is an 84. Like, that's a big gap. 8-point gap. Block shedding is a 76. I like to see. This guy is worthwhile fully scouting, because he's hitting numbers of gems. Okay? He didn't get it. The CPU didn't give it to him. If he was a 4-star, that guy would be a gem. Okay, more than likely. Speed is a 79. I'm not gonna go with this guy unless he started hitting other big numbers. I wouldn't go with him. Okay, hit power 79. Obviously, I'm gonna go a little bit further. 81 speed, not the greatest thing. Zone coverage 55. That's actually really good. Awareness is 68. That's actually really good. Acceleration is an 83, which is it's okay. Strength is an 80, which is an average, so it's not too bad. He's worthwhile investigating further. And I'm just doing small samples here, guys, for you. 72. I'm trying not to waste as many points here. Tackles a 72. That's a low. That is a low. I'd probably go for another guy. 84 pursuit, though. That's pretty solid. Play recognition is a 71. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Zone coverage is a 53. I'll take that as well. Awareness is a 60. That's low. Hit power 73. Not too bad. This guy could be a gem. and he's not. He doesn't hit some of those other numbers, and they just crushed him down. And that's just what they do sometimes. 3 stars are more finicky. 4 stars are much easier. 5 stars are much easier than that as well. Those are much easier because you can tell this guy's a gem even if they don't say he's a gem. Even if you come across and it's a gray gem with a red X, they still could be gems. The CPU is not always truthful when it comes to 4 stars and 5 stars. 3 stars, they crush you because of simply just development and that alone.